From the Opubco studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Chamel. Time for our weekly 5 and 5 segment. Barry, we've got OU football to talk about, OSU football to talk about. We got the Thunder to talk about. We've got all sorts of stuff. Let's get right to it. What about this question, Barry? Does OU receiver Jalen Saunders deserve punishment?
Well, yes, he does, primarily because he catches passes for the Sooners of Oklahoma, not the Sooners of Washington or Colorado. I mean, it's still against the law to possess weed and drive around and smoking it. And he got himself arrested. And Bob Stoops has a long and clear track record. He gives out one-game punishments for this kind of thing. So, yeah, I think he does. And I'd be interested to know, if Stoops doesn't suspend Jalen Saunders, exactly why?
What's the deal?
What's the deal? Other than the guy's a good player. So, but Kenny Steele's got a one-game suspension for a DUI. Phil Odeholt, same way. Lots of good players have fallen into this trap. It's unfortunate that it occurred before the Cotton Bowl. Sooners need all hands on deck. But to me, it's pretty clear what Bob Stoops needs to do.
Yeah, and it's not a matter of Bob Stoops suspending guys after they've been found guilty or after they've pled guilty. If you get arrested, it's been pretty consistent. You sit a game. So Jalen Saunders, we still don't know exactly what happened with his arrest. We're not sure what's going to happen with the charges or anything like that. But he got arrested, and Bob Stoops has a standing policy of an arrest equals a suspension. So if he doesn't suspend Jalen Saunders, what does that say about Bob Stoops and his track record? I think it really muddies it, and I think he needs to stick with that track record. It's been pretty strong. All right, Barry, what about this question? Does Clint Shelf, the OSU quarterback, have a leg up? He's been named the starter for the bowl. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Is there a leg up for Clint Shelf?
I don't think so. If you mean, is he got a chance to be the starter next season? I just can't see it. I mean, I think they're going to go back with Wes Lunt. I'm a little surprised that you go with Clint Shelf in this game. I think this bowl game with the 4 or 5 weeks between the end of the season and the bowl game gives you a chance to retool and get Wes Lunt back acclimated and going and ready to have at it against Purdue and on into the spring. So I'm a little surprised that they're going with Shelf, but I don't think it means a lot for his chances. I think it's a lot more likely that Clint Shelf quarterbacks the Southern Miss Golden Eagles next September than he does the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Yeah, I was surprised to hear that they weren't even going to use their very early bowl practices to divide things up in a more equal way to give Wes Lunt, to give J.W. Walsh more reps with that first team offense. Instead, they just went status quo, and Clint Shelf gets the lion's share of those snaps. I thought it was a great opportunity to at least allow those other guys a chance to develop. I agree with Barry. I don't think that it's going to be anybody other than Wes Lunt in the starter in the season opener next year as the starter. But this is all very peculiar to me. It just seems like you're not using your resource of time and practice very well if you're the Cowboys, and I don't quite get why they don't maybe do it a little more equitably, at least to start with. And then as you get closer to game time, maybe you give it to your main guy. All right, Barry, what about this question? Hey, does Oklahoma City have the best basketball team in the West? Are these Thunder the best in the West?
I think they are. They were last season. I've seen nothing this year to make me change my mind. We wondered about the James Harden trade, whether Kevin Martin would acclimate and become just as valuable. It's been phenomenal transformation, a great transition. Thunder looks to me like the best team in the West, really a team without a weakness. So I think the Thunder does have the best team. Now, that doesn't mean it's a walkover to get to the NBA Finals. You still have to win the West. It was not easy to get there last year. The Spurs, great series. So it's not automatic, but I think the Thunder does have the best team.
If they have the best team, they're going to be tested on the road the rest of the way. They've already played 16 home games. That's just a huge number of your home games already in your rearview mirror. By comparison, the Spurs, who were in the other night for that 16th home game for the Thunder, they played 16 road games. So the rest of their season, they're going to have a lot of home games where the Thunder is going to be on the road a ton. So they're going to have to prove that greatness on the road. I think that they do have a chance to really establish themselves as the team in the West. But like I said, they're going to have to do it in hostile environments. It's going to be tough. But if you're the best, you're able to do that. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. Oh, it's Christmas. You don't really like Christmas, but you gotta love the food, Barry. What's your favorite Christmas food?
Well, my favorite Christmas food, and I don't get enough of it, is white chocolate covered pretzels. And here's what I don't understand, and it's the mystery, it's the great mystery of American civilization. The fascination.
Wait, this is the great mystery?
This is the great mystery.
Okay, all right.
The fascination with dark chocolate. Why is 99% of the chocolate in America dark? Where's the white chocolate? Why can't I buy a white chocolate Baby Ruth or a white chocolate Milky Way or a white chocolate any of that stuff? It would be fantastic. The best dessert every year at my house is my brother goes to the store and he buys up Zero bars and he cuts them into little slices and puts them on a plate and puts cellophane around it, and you think you're eating a delicacy because it's white chocolate. It's just a Zero bar, but it's fantastic.
All right, so everybody send your white chocolate covered pretzels to Barry's house. And if you want to send something to me, I will take your peanut brittle. That's my favorite Christmas food. I don't understand why we don't make that more often. I mean, I know it's a little bit difficult to make, but man, peanut brittle, so tasty. I love it.
It's sticky. You get it all over your hands.
What that, and?
I don't like sticky hands.
Ah, yeesh, what a
Trying
curmudgeon.
to ruin your teeth.
What a curmudgeon. All right, what about this last one, Barry? Hey, is the SEC overhyped? You wrote earlier in the week about how OU's game against Texas A&M is a little bit of a no-win situation and how the numbers that A&M's put up are essentially close to what they put up a year ago. And everybody said, well, that's because nobody in the Big 12 plays defense. You don't hear that about the SEC.
Well, the SEC clearly is overhyped. Now, that doesn't mean they're not the best league. SEC football is overrated in the same way that Duke basketball is overrated and all kinds of stuff is overrated. Doesn't mean you're not the best, it just means you're overrated. Same with SEC. The SEC has perfected the hype machine. It's what they do. You think they're good at defensive tackle? The marketers in the SEC office in Birmingham, that's who are first-round draft picks, for crying out loud. It's an overhyped machine. They figured out a way to build their brand to the superfluous level, to the supreme level, and everybody's buying it. Hats off to you defensive tackles in the SEC, and hats off to you marketers in Birmingham.
Yeah, the fact that we've all bought it, that's the thing that really gets me. Yeah, okay, I know that they've won the last, is it 6? Now we're going
6 in a row.
6 in a row, national champions. That's impressive. There's no two ways around it. Hey, listen, Notre Dame needs to end this for a lot of reasons, and I think that's part of it, is to end that streak and make the SEC look a little bit human. If Alabama wins, it just continues that run, and you begin to think, well, maybe it's true. But in reality, there's a lot of good football being played, and there's some bad football being played in the SEC. But what this hype has done has created a situation where if you're a one-loss team in the SEC, you're likely to get a nod over a one-loss team from any other league. Barry, it's hurting other leagues. That's where the hype has really gotten out of control. We saw it a year ago with OSU and Stanford not really even getting much consideration for the national championship game because everybody just assumes a one-loss team out of the SEC is better than a one-loss team from anywhere else. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.